coaching that's going on right now, because I'm a certified coach through John Maxwell. I'm a healing through a John Maxwell. What's going on right now is I feel like a lot of people are getting sold on the idea of healing, the long-term goal, which the long-term goal is fine, because when you've come out of a traumatic relationship or a traumatic experience, which I did, I was married for numerous decades, ended up finding out a lot of information of things that were going on behind my back, which kind of blindsided me, because my mindset was till death do us part, so on and so forth. And so when I found out these things, I had to readjust. I had to go through a process of receiving the information, accepting the information, and growing from it. And so my point that I was making with this live is that when you've come out of an experience like that, a person, of course, long-term goal should be healing, but what you need within that initial time when you're coming out of that is you need someone that is there that can help you as far as community, someone that has a positive word for you. You need to feel secure again. You need to feel safe, a place of safety. You need to feel a sense of belonging, or you're trying to, because you're in a place where you're trying to refine yourself. So one of the things that happens, or one of the things that I would tell you that has to take place is you got to go through a process of understanding that a lot of the things that we go through in our lives are part of the program that we've allowed to come into our minds. And sometimes it was based upon unconscious things because of our environment and who we're around and what we saw. And so the thing that I'm trying to say is that in order to get truly to the point where you're no longer being controlled by outside events, it's going to require you going in and reprogramming your subconscious part of your mind. I was able to come up with a program to help people to reprogram their mind. Am I muted again? I don't know why that. Am I muted again? Beverly Davis, am I muted? Okay, my point is, am I muted? If I'm muted, let me know I'm muted. I shouldn't be muted, but okay. Yeah, so my point is, when we learn, and this was personal revelation, when we learn how to reprogram our minds, then you'll hear people stop saying, oh, every time I date, I keep meeting the same person. Why? Why do you meet the same person when you date? Because of a program, a story that we have in our minds. This is why I'm saying the solution, of course, down the road is healing, but the immediate solution right now, the actual, because to me, I look at a lot of things that are described as just symptoms. They're symptoms. It's like a common cold. There's symptoms. Sore throat, you're coughing, you're sneezing. Those are just symptoms. But what is actually happening? You have an actual cold where your body is fighting off bacteria and infections and different things like that. And it's the same thing when you're going through an emotional healing. You have to me, I feel as though as a certified coach, you have to stop looking at the symptoms and start looking at, okay, how can I get to the root? The root of all of this is the training that has been instilled within our subconscious mind. So there has to be a process of retraining our minds to no longer think in terms of the way we were maybe raised, or what we saw, or what everybody said, or what we felt about relationships, but coming to another place where now we're looking at relationships from a place of, seeing it from a different perspective. And part of what I share, because I offered a program on my TikTok and on Facebook and the other pages I'm on, is that I'm looking to do a test market with a few individuals that are looking to be a part of this program. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach them how to write out in the 4 areas, because I mentioned this earlier for those that are just joining on here. There's 4 main areas with all of us that we want a certain level of happiness, whether it's our finances, whether our relationships, whether it's our health, whether it's our spirituality. In those 4 areas, when we can go back in and kind of write out, one of the easiest ways to do it is write out little affirmings or affirmations within those areas. But to me, again, affirmations aren't going to get you to the next step. It's not going to get you to the next step. And this is why I'm sharing this with you. Vision boards, it's great, but it's not going to get you to the next step. What I want to do is help people get to the next step. So we're going to use the affirmations to create a framework. You're creating that framework to allow our minds to operate the same way that our subconscious talks to us. If you've done any research on your subconscious mind talks to you through stories. When you have a dream at night, that is a story. That's your subconscious, whether you're calling it God, whether you're calling it your subconscious, your superconscious, whether you're calling it your angels, whatever. The spiritual realm is communicating to us while we're sleeping. It's nothing new to man. And so through that process of the story that's being told to you, what happens? You're shown symbols of things. Symbols of things pop up in the dream. So in order to go back in, the easiest way to go back and to retrain your mind is do the same thing that of the way that your mind is talking to you. How does our subconscious talk to us? Through stories and through symbols. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually taking people by the hand. I'm teaching them how to write their story the correct way, how to write their story in a present tense, how to sensationalize their story, but to sensationalize their story to the point that they can actually you can smell yourself on that beach. You can smell, you can feel that sand in between your toes. You can feel yourself in that breeze of the ocean hitting you in your face as you sit on your balcony of your property, because you're putting yourself in the arena, in the place of feeling and experiencing and being what you desire to take place in your life. This is why I'm saying in all four areas, because to me it's a process of taking the time to look at all of the four areas and how can I become and how can I get and how can I be the things that I want in all of those four areas, because then I'll be living life from more of a complete place. I don't talk to people and share with people about healing just from a financial place, because you can have money but still not have, and then have terrible relationships. So to me, my mindset says help people to enhance their spirituality, their relationships, their finances, and in their health. And through that process, they're going to be more of a whole individual. And when we're whole, then that's what we're going to hand to our next generation. We're going to hand to our sons and our daughters and the people around us. We're going to hand to them what is already a part of us and what's in us. You know, and so part of this process is after I teach them how to go through the process of writing their story correctly, because there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it. Then what I do is I teach them how to record that story on their own phone or on a device that they have. And as they're going off to sleep and as they're waking up, that story that they just recorded, that it will play. And it will play as they're going off to sleep, because the easiest way to train your subconscious mind and when it's most receptive is when we're going off to sleep. Even Einstein talked about that. There was a piece of document written about Einstein, and it said that a lot of his inventions came to him as he was going off to sleep, because he would ask his subconscious a question. And so that's another thing. You're either asking yourself a question, you're creating a story that you're looking at presenting, or that's presented, or that's part of your life. And then the third thing is that you're looking at the symbols and see, I help someone put all that together. And in the process of putting all that together, what happens is then you'll find that this person will start seeing certain synchronicities and things that'll start taking place in their life. They'll start seeing good events and events that'll start cropping up and propping up in their lives. Events that'll start allowing them to start living life from a fuller place. Events that'll start allowing them to start believing that their life is changing. Because as soon as you believe what you're placing into your mind, as soon as you believe that information about the lifestyle that you're living, as soon as you believe about the health that you have, as soon as you believe about the relationships that you have, then you're going to start experiencing those things. But as long as we're in a place where we don't believe, or we have doubts and we have fears, then we're going to harvest the results of those things also. So it's a process of getting and gaining ourselves back to a place of the results that we want through our belief. And so through that program, and if you're interested, DM me down in the comments and say, and if you're interested, DM me down in the comments and say, help. Because like I said, I'm offering this on TikTok and on a couple other sites, but I'm pulling some of the people off that follow me on all the other pages, and we'll do it as a group. And there's certain little things that I'm looking for as part of the group. I'm looking for people that are willing to read. I'm looking for people that are willing to be a part of a community and be accountable to that community, and be accountable from the place of just connecting in, everybody connecting in, and then meeting at least one day a week. And then maybe I'll do a live like that, and we'll actually have people come in and they'll ask their questions, and we'll go through that process to help people to figure out how to get to the next place or the next level within their lives. Because you're closer than what you think. It's just, we have to eradicate, you got to get rid of your old training, your old way of thinking. And in order to get rid of your old training, your old way of thinking, you have to eliminate that subconscious program, because that's whenever something crops up in your life, you got to remember there's a story in your subconscious that's already, because our subconscious is our long-term thought process. So all of your experiences, good and bad, is programmed and trained in your mind. It's where your habits are. The things you do without thinking, all the things you do without thinking is in your subconscious. This is why you got to go back in there and retrain that. The easiest way to train it is what I just described earlier. If you didn't weren't in here earlier, go back and watch this video when you get a chance. I appreciate everybody that's in here. Like, subscribe, and share this video. Hit the bell notifications. I'm going to start trying to get on here at least once or twice a week and do little short lives on things that people can do to start changing their lives on their own. I'm not looking for a lot of people. I'm looking for the right people that are interested in doing the things it takes to change their lives, that are not that are at the point that they're tired of trying to do it their own way. I ended up hiring a coach when I was going through my most difficult time, and she was a big asset and a help for me because she helped me to see a lot of things before they took place, because she had already been through it. So she was speaking to me from a place of experience, just like me. Anybody that's going through, being in a long-term relationship and then getting a divorce, I can speak to them from a place of experience. Anybody that's had a business that has had success and then has had failures, I can speak to them from a place of experience. I know what that feels like. And any loss that you go through, there's going to be a process that you're going to go through, because first thing with loss is that loss was based upon you being attached to something. Anything that we're attached to, when we lose it, the next thing that's going to happen, because it goes attachment, loss, and heartbreak. You're going to go through heartbreak. Then once you go through heartbreak, then you're going to automatically slide into grief. When we get into grief, if we don't actually go through the healing process, then what happens is we end up staying in grief. And you know when people stay in grief because they say things like, oh, there's no good people out here. And they start saying like, oh, I can't ever get ahead financially, and they're in this place of grief because their mind, they got to go back in. Someone has to help them go back in. And this is where I come in and train their subconscious mind, where they can understand how to train their mind, that their mind is working for them instead of against them. Right now, most people that their subconscious and their mind is working against them. This is why they're getting the result that they're getting in their finances, in their relationships, in their health. And then the results that they're getting based upon the words that they're saying. They say things like, oh, everybody in my family has whatever the sickness is. Or they say, oh, we're big boned. Or they say that, oh, we're not wealthy. Or they'll say all these things. This is all part of a training and a process that this individual has in their mind. And just because we received it a long time ago, it does not mean that it's right. Those are just words that someone told us and shared with us. And they said based upon them being in the 3D reality and sharing their experience to you as a child or whatever growing up. And because we were so naive and young, we received what they said as if it was the gospel, but it is not. Just because you're in the 3D reality, and of course your experience right now is that does not mean that that's your future. Our future is in our hand, and it's based upon us going in and doing the things it takes. Are you one of those ones that's willing to do the thing it takes? Are you willing to? Because 90%, I believe it's 90 or 95% of your success is your mentality. It's not what you're doing. This is what the studies that they've done on people that have success. 90% or 95% of your success is your thoughts. It's not the task that you have to do. The task is just a small percentage, because if we wrap our mind around the task before we do the task, we're going to do it from a place of excellence. We're going to do it from a place of overachieving, because our mind, once we put our beliefs into our action, then we're going to get the result. When you combine your belief with your action, when you combine your belief and the emotion of where you are with your thoughts, with your words and with your action, that's where your success is. It's not in the fear. I talk to people often and say, oh, I don't know how you get online, because I don't care. I'm not afraid. What is if someone says something to you in the comments? So what? So what? Are you more afraid of having the success that you want, or are you more afraid of someone saying something to you? I mean, this is where it has to be. In order to have a level of success, you cannot concern yourself. You're not going to be concerning yourself with what everybody feels and thinks, because you're comfortable with who you are as a person. You've worked on yourself. You've dealt with the things that you needed to deal with. Anybody have any comments or any questions down in the chat? You can go follow me on my other pages. My name is Arnold Austin. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on all of the other pages. I'm not sure. I had a person that I hired that put up a link tree. I think they put it up yesterday. I have to double check. If that's there, you can just hit those links and follow me on those other pages. If you want more help in changing If you want help in changing your subconscious, you want to be part of the program, DM me, reach out to me, because I'm taking on a few people at a time. I'm going to do a test market group, and then the thing that I'm looking for those that get involved is I'm looking for a review. I'm looking for some that are willing to do at least a written review, but I'm looking for some that are willing to get on camera with me, side by side. We'll do a panel of some sort, and I'll just ask you some questions about your experience. One of the other things I'm looking for is the individual willing to journal, write every day, write about your experiences, because you're going to get, as you go through this program, you're going to start getting synchronicities. You're going to start getting things that are going to crop up and prop up in your life. You're going to start getting ideas and things. If you follow through with those actions that come to your mind, you're going to get substantial amounts of results. You're going to get a substantial amount of results, because our subconscious talks to us real gentle. And so if you're in tune with it and you're listening, you'll hear something, you'll hear things that you weren't thinking about, which is something that you have to do, or that you should do, that's going to get you to the next level. Appreciate you, Donna. Thank you, Donna. Again, I'm going to start getting on here a couple days a week. And I appreciate y'all for the taps, the likes, the shares. Thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in. And so, again, my name is Arnold Austin. Like I always say, I believe in you, but you got to believe